Welcome to another episode of Mystic Mondays. I'm your host, Monica Bay, also known as the Healer in Heels, ready to bring you into the world of all things mystic. Join me for a journey of spiritual growth, enlightenment, and self-actualization as we explore the wonderful world of mysticism where no gifted soul gets left behind. If you'd like to call in live to the show, dial 678-495-4345. And now, get ready for Mystic Mondays with me, Monica Bay. Hello, and welcome to Mystic Mondays. I'm your host, Monica Bay, also known as the Healer in Heels. I am an energy healer and a spiritual teacher and a psychic medium. And I named this show Mystic Mondays because I have a passion for mysticism, self-actualization, and spiritual evolution. So I'm really excited about the show today. We are talking about cannabis and spirituality. And I have a very special guest with me today who we will see in the next segment. And her name is Tanji Daniel. So we will talk about her in the next segment. We will see her, and she's going to give us a lot of great insight and information into cannabis. She's a cannabis expert. So first thing I want to announce is the Mystic Challenge. Mystic Challenge. So the Mystic Challenge, for those of you who don't know, every episode we do a Mystic Challenge, and that is where you get to call in and answer a challenge question. And if you get the question right, today you always get a free gift. So today the free gift that we have for you is from Tanji Daniel, and it is a cannabis calming spray, so also known as CBD. And we will talk about that a lot later so you understand exactly what that is. But you will get that today if you answer the question correctly. So the way you play the challenge is that you call in to 678-495-4345 and answer a question. You get to choose between 3 questions. And if you answer it correctly, you will win the free gift. If you answer it incorrectly, you'll still walk away with a t-shirt, a Mystic Monday t-shirt. So we all win. So please call in for the Mystic Challenge. Again, that number is 678-495-4345. And we will be playing that all the entire length of the episode. So you can call in at any time to play the challenge. We will continue to allow people to play the challenge until someone gets a question correct. All right. So now let's jump into it. Now it is time for Mystic Message. Mystic Message. So today's Mystic Message, just so everyone, for those of you who don't know, before every episode, I go into a deep meditation to see really what the universe has for me to share with people. Some of you know I'm a channel as well, so I channel in information from the universe a lot, and messages come through me. So today's message is actually a question. And the question is, how teachable are you? So what do I mean by that? A lot of times when we have opportunities to learn, we have opportunities to grow, but the question is, how teachable are you? A lot of times our mind is closed and we're not able to receive that we're not able to receive that opportunity. And so really today's message is about being open for change. A lot of times we shut things down immediately when it challenges our own perception of reality. And so instead of shutting things down because it may not be something that you thought of or something that resonates immediately with you, when you hear something or you learn something new that challenges your perception, that challenges you to the core. Sometimes things challenge you to the core, but these are moments where you have the opportunity to grow. These are moments where you can actually take that information, receive it, and internalize it and see if that holds true for you, rather than shutting things down immediately and getting defensive, because a lot of people do that as well. So you should really ask yourself questions. Do research, check within, go within to your soul. Your soul knows. I always say your soul knows why it's here. It came in here. It's in your body. You're a spiritual being living a human experience right now. So your spirit already knows the answers to everything that you actually will ever want to know. So when you're challenged, when you receive information or you have opportunities to grow and to change your perspective, because again, growth is about change. You can't grow without changing. You have to change something, some element of you, of your belief systems, of your inner workings, of your mindset. Something has to change in order for you to grow. And sometimes those can be growing pains, but it's necessary for you to be open for the possibilities of other things other than what you think to be true. So, just be open to those possibilities and making sure that you have, really knocking down limiting belief systems as well, because limiting belief systems will they will not only challenge you, but they will stop you. They will stop you from growing. A lot of people have limiting belief systems, especially when we're talking about spirituality. A lot of people have many limiting belief systems that really prevent you from being, the best version of yourself and really stepping into your greatness and your true power. So when you realize that you have a limiting belief system, or if you have a question of, is this a limiting belief system? One of the great ways to do that is to really ask yourself, is this really a rule or a law? Is that a real law that I'm creating for myself? Or is it something that really exists, like a universal law, like gravity? That's not debatable, right? But there's a lot of things that we hold within our mindsets and our belief systems that limit us and limit our power and limit our greatness. And again, they prevent you from growing. So really, you want to change that. You want to change your perspective. You want to try to change your perspective and look at things from a bird's eye view, look at things from outside and see, if something resonates with you. But again, look from within and check within to see if something holds true or not, versus just, knocking things down and assuming that they're not true because they challenge your beliefs, your current beliefs. So that's the mystic message for today. All right. Now, I want to get into, but before I get into the next thing I want to talk about, I just want to also say hello to our friends at 99.1 FM and also to our friends at WTTA 101.2 FM in Kentucky and Ohio. And also to let you know that you can now watch and listen to all exclusive content online at uimediaapp.com. Okay, so now let's get into the next thing I want to talk about. So I want to also explain that, because today we're talking about cannabis, and cannabis, for those of you who don't know the technical name for it, it's also weed. It's also marijuana, right? But and what's the first thing that you think of when you think of that? Is it's very calming, right? So our guest that we have today is really going to go deeper into that to really educate you guys and educate everyone on really what that is. But so I want to, because we're talking about kind of calming things down, I want to talk about clarity. So calmness breeds clarity. That's something that all of you need to know. Write that down. Calmness breeds clarity. And the reason why calmness breeds clarity, a lot of people come to me with lack of clarity, right? They come to me needing more clarity on their life, their purpose, their direction. And a lot of times we don't receive that clarity because we're not calm enough. Within the silence, within the calmness, that's when we're able to tap into our spiritual truth. That's when we're able to tap into our guidance. And that's why calmness breeds clarity. So when you're too busy, when you're finding, you're making yourself busy all throughout the day, you're having busy work. A lot of people do that in order to stop themselves from actually being clear. They keep themselves really, really busy. So when you're busy, your mind is busy, you're just, every second of the day you're doing something. You're not allowing yourself to stop and listen to the guidance and the voices that are there to guide you. Your guiding forces, your higher power, your higher self, your soul, your spirit guides, whatever it is that you believe in and that guides you. Those all of those elements are trying to guide you on a daily basis all the time. And a lot of times we're not calm enough to listen. We don't stop and sit in that silence and just listen. But it's not just about silence. It's also about literally calming your energy, because when your energy is too riled up and too busy and focused on other things, usually our energy is either in the past or the future. And when you're in those states of being, you're not able to, you're not able to be clear. Clarity requires you to actually be clear. And, a lot of times it's hard when you're in the thick of something, when you are going through a lot of emotional stuff. You may be in a crisis and you're unable to make a decision. And a lot of times clarity is also around your decisions that you make. So you're not able to make a good decision, or maybe you make bad decisions because you're in a heightened emotional state. And so emotions, I always say emotions cloud judgment, and they do. And this is why you being able to find yourself in a calmer space before making a decision is important, because then you can have the clarity in order to make that better decision to bring you to where you need to be in life. And so again, that's just something that I wanted to state today, is around, the fact that calmness breeds clarity, and to really, make sure that you're taking a step back, meditate. That's a great way also to receive that clarity and receive that calmness. And also, I get a lot of clients, because for those of you who don't, well, I said what I do, but those of you, I am also a hypnotist, and I'm also a life coach. And so people come to me for all kinds of things, and I help them through those things. And one of the things that I really do is also help people find clarity. And that clarity is so important, because if you have no clarity, then, your entire life feels upside down and you can feel lost. And so one of the things that I have people do is take a step back, because a lot of times, especially when you're in a crisis and you're in a heightened emotional state, usually there's fear involved in that. And that fear is about something that hasn't happened yet, probably. And so you get stuck in that fear. And so it's important to take a step back. Meditation is a great way to do that. But even if you don't meditate, take a step back, look at it from a bird's eye view, and be able to kind of separate yourself from the situation. And then you're able to lower those emotional states, and then able to actually make a better decision and really see what's really happening, and what you should do, and also receive the direction from your guides and your higher self of where you should go from there. So I also want to talk about the parasympathetic and sympathetic nervous system, because this goes into why it's important to remain calm, why it's important to find calmness, and to be able to get into a silent kind of calm state. So we have a sympathetic nervous system. Your sympathetic nervous system is the fight or flight mode, basically. When your sympathetic nervous system is heightened, you're in that fight or flight mode. Most people go throughout their entire lives and every day in that mode. You're stressed about getting to work on time. You're stressed about, getting something done, a deadline, meeting a deadline, or you're stressed about, what's about to happen with your kids, or whatever those things are. And again, a lot of that is fear-based. But a lot of people stay in that state, and the sympathetic nervous system is heightened. Well, when your sympathetic nervous system is heightened, and this is the reason why this is important in the talk about spirituality, is when your sympathetic nervous system is heightened, your fight or flight mode is on. It takes energy from everywhere else in your body, including your spiritual energy, and it redirects that energy toward fight or flight. You're either going to run or you're going to fight. And so everything is towards that stress response system. And so that's taking energy away from your body's ability to heal itself. That's taking energy away from your clarity. That's taking energy away from your ability to receive and your spiritual energy. It also takes energy away from your manifestations. So that's important. So that's why it's really important. And so when you're on the opposite side of that, your parasympathetic nervous system is the nervous system that is calm. So that's when you're not in your fight or flight mode, basically. And when you're calm and you're actually able to receive. Why are you able to receive? Because of what I just described. What happens when your sympathetic nervous system is on, it's taking energy away from all the other faculties in your body. So when your parasympathetic nervous system, that's your calm state, is up, then that is actually when you're able to receive, because the energy is available to be used. You're able to self-heal, you're able to manifest better, and your spiritual energy is much more heightened, and you're able to use that spiritual energy to benefit your life. So these are all very, very important. We're going to get into more of that after the break. So I just want to also say, you can go to monicabay.com for a free consultation on spiritual development and guidance. And we will be back right after the break.
Life Mastery with Monica Bay, the podcast that helps you heal your soul, find your truth, and live your purpose. Deep insights into life, relationships, finance, business, spirituality, and more. Learn to master every area of your life for total fulfillment. Monica Bay, also known as the Healer in Heels, uses her many spiritual gifts to transform lives worldwide. Tune in bi-weekly to Life Mastery with Monica Bay using your favorite podcast app. Don't miss out on your transformation.
Hello, and welcome back to Mystic Mondays. I'm your host, Monica Bay, and I have with me a very special guest. She's also a friend of mine, and her name is Tangi Daniel.
Hello, my love. I'm so grateful to be here. This is so awesome.
Yes, thank you so much for being here. So Tangi is a cannabis educator, and why don't you explain what you do?
Absolutely. So hello, everyone. First of all, thank you, Monica, for having me on Mystic Mondays. This is an amazingly important topic, which is cannabis. So if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Tanjanika. People call me Tangi. I'm the CEO of Jane Green, and I'm the chairwoman of the board for the Georgia Cannabis Coalition. I specialize in international cannabis education, but most importantly, aside from that, I'm an advocate and patient in this industry. And I became that way because I'm a Marine Corps veteran, and I did 2 tours in Iraq, and that's how I actually got involved in the industry in the first place. I was using opiates, and I was using the drugs that the VA gave me, and it was not helpful. It didn't work for me. And so I turned to a natural alternative source.
Yes, and how long ago was that?
I've been in the industry about 6 years now.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been advocating on behalf of this plant for at least 5.
Okay. And so what drove your passion, first of all, because you explained how you're a patient as well. And so you kind of got into it. So what drove that passion to want to actually do what you do now and really advocate for it?
Absolutely. So it started as just, finding out that this was a viable option. So I grew up a DARE kid. I grew up very religious. Jehovah's Witness is how I was raised. And so we were adamantly against all types of, outside influences, and that included drugs of any kind. And so I actually did the right thing. I went to school, and then I went to the military to pay for the schooling. And when I got out of the military, I had PTSD, I had chronic back pain, etc. So I went to film school. And I drove from D.C. to California, and I was like, okay, I'm going to go to California for film or for cannabis, because at that time I was using...
Film or cannabis, one or the other.
I'm not sure which one, but so I went there and I said, okay, this is this is my purpose. So I go there and I go to a cannabis conference. And I will never forget, it was only 4 Black people at a cannabis conference of 3,500 people. And I look around the room, and there's suits and there's ties and there's briefcases, and I realized there was much more to cannabis that I didn't know about.
Okay.
And so I started to do a lot of research and a lot of digging to find out why it was made illegal in the first place. Come to find out it was based on racism and greed. And so I was like, oh really?
Okay.
Really? Oh, okay. So then I found out the lies that were told about cannabis. And it really led me down a rabbit hole. And then fast forward, that led me into legislation education. And so I started to learn about the laws and how they were drafted and how they were put into effect. And that led to consulting. And so what I do is I help clients in natural alternative spaces. I help them with compliance, wellness, and profitability strategies.
Okay. Okay. Interesting.
Yes.
That's very interesting. So, and I'm glad that you are here to really educate everyone on this, because I know a lot of people have certain, stigmas, right?
Absolutely.
And it's changing, because now there's some states that are where it is actually legal. But before we get into that, let's dive into kind of connecting cannabis with spirituality and how you believe cannabis can help with spiritual evolution or just spirituality in general.
Absolutely. So what's amazing about this plant is that the actual human body has adapted to it over the years. So we have been using cannabis since ancient Egyptian times. We've been using it since ancient Indian, ancient Chinese medications as well. And so throughout that time, it's always been used as, even Rastafarians, when you look back at them, it's always been used as a sacrament. It's always been used to enhance the experience of getting closer to God. Okay. And so by doing that scientifically, as I began to understand how it works scientifically in the body, what it does is naturally we all have cannabis inside of us. It's called an endocannabinoid system. So cannabinoid means chemical compounds, endo means inside. So inside of our bodies, we actually have chemical compounds that mimic phytocannabinoids, or the chemical compounds in the plant. And
Okay.
so what happens when we consume cannabis, they attach to receptors that are in our body, and it's like a lock and key system. And so it unlocks these physiological responses. Now, if you don't ever take the plant in any form at all, you still would have that in your body, and you produce that by if you ever done yoga before and you zen, you
Okay.
meditate, you
Yeah.
get really zenned out, you reach that height of oneness with yourself, that's cannabis being released throughout your body.
So it's different kind of high.
It's an absolute different kind of high. And
Yeah.
if you've ever ran before, you're a runner, and you get that second burst of energy, that runner's high, that's what they call it. That's exactly what it is. That's cannabis being released in your body. So this plant is the only thing that can cross the blood-brain barrier. And it does that by attaching to receptors in your brain and also attaching to receptors in your body. Nothing else can do that. That's how I know that we've been, adapting to this plant and vice versa for over the
Okay.
years. It's amazing what we can do. And then that helps you reach oneness with yourself.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
awesome. So let's dive into the reaching oneness with yourself. So how does the plant help you reach oneness with yourself?
Absolutely. So it helps you focus. And you talked about this in your message. You can't have clarity in chaos. You really
No.
can't. And
You
so,
cannot. You
so it
cannot.
helps you focus. It helps you understand. For me personally, with my PTSD symptoms, it helps me understand that I'm not in a fight or flight situation.
Yeah.
That I am present. No one's trying to harm me in this moment. And so
Yes.
I can think clearer. I can calm down. My heart rate can decrease and go to normal levels.
Yeah.
And so these things are able to happen with cannabis. It also helps with, if you're in pain a lot, then you're not able to meditate. You're not able to focus. You don't have a lot of clarity.
Yeah.
Because you're focused on that pain and getting it better.
Yeah.
So it helps with pain. But the top things that it helps with is inflammation, insomnia, anxiety, depression, and inflammation. Those things are really what it helps you with.
Okay. Okay. So when you're not
Depression, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Inflammation
That's okay.
twice, yes.
That's okay. So with all of those ailments, so say those ailments again.
So we have depression, insomnia, inflammation, anxiety, and stress. It helps you with all of those symptoms. And most of the
Okay.
people
Yeah, that's so
suffer from
prevalent
one
in
of
our
those.
society right now. Just pretty much, if you I don't know what the statistics are actually, but I think it's like 80% or something like that. I have seen the statistics before. I just don't remember what they are. But yeah, it's a really, really large percentage of society that's dealing, like I was saying earlier, that's continuously in the fight or flight response mode all day.
Absolutely. And I want people to understand PTSD is not just something that veterans are affected with. Like most people
Have
suffer.
some form.
Exactly.
It's a trigger. Basically, it's trauma and triggers. Yeah.
Exactly. And so that's how cannabis is able to help all of us. And whether it is a physical ailment, whether you've lost everything in a fire, whether you've, had any type of tragedy in your life that won't go away, that's how you're able to understand that you've been, either diagnosed with it or self-diagnosis. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. We have a question, so we're going to hold that thought. And caller, you're on. Hello? Oh. Okay. All
Tell
right.
them call back.
They'll call back.
Call back, man. Yeah.
So I want to dive into the difference between THC and the because there's different there's different parts of the plant, right? And some parts make it illegal in certain states, and some parts are legal. So what are the different parts of the plant? Let's start there.
Absolutely. So chemical compounds, again, is a cannabinoid. So there are over 200 chemical compounds in the plant. The most popular ones that we know about are THC and CBD. And one that's coming out this year that's really popular is CBG now.
Okay, I haven't heard of that one.
Yeah, so CBG is great. It's great for osteoporosis because it's great for bone replacement, things like that. And so CBD and THC are the main popular ones that you see now. And CBD is really taking off right now because a lot of people understand that THC is the one that gives you the euphoria, the psychoactive effects. So basically it gets you high. The CBD is the non-psychoactive one. And what that does is the medical benefits. They both have medical benefits. Let's just be clear about that. But most people, elderly or children, don't want to feel that high effect. And so that's why they would take the CBD. So it's just the medicinal values of cannabis.
Okay, so the CBD, so people are clear, the CBD is without the THC, right?
No,
Or-
right. So
okay.
CBD is different from THC because they're different cannabinoids, but CBD does not get you high and THC does.
Okay, so that's the difference. And
Right.
then what is the what are the benefits of THC? So THC is the one that's the part of it that's illegal in most states, right? Am I correct?
So yes, so THC is the one that on the West Coast is very accepted and the whole plant is accepted. On the East Coast is more pharmaceutical grade, and so you strip the THC out of it, and so
Okay.
it's more of a CBD. And so triple amputee veterans, it's great for pain management. So if you want to not feel excruciating pain and you need to feel psychoactive effects, then THC is really great for that. If you have difficulties with
Okay.
sleeping or you have insomnia really bad, THC is really great for that because it's a body relaxant. But CBD can do the exact same thing as well. It just depends on your audience. I, again, am a veteran. I enjoy THC, but depending on where I'm at, what state or what country, then that tells me what access I have.
Yeah.
And so that's how I'm able to decide what medication I have available to me there.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, we're going to try that caller again. Hi. Hello, caller.
Hi,
Hi. Hi, what is your name?
Durga Mamudapalli.
Hi, thank you for calling. Do you have a question or did you want to play the challenge?
I want to play the challenge.
Okay, all right. So you get to pick the number 1 through 3. Pick question 1, 2, or 3 without knowing the question. So just pick and see which question would you like to answer? 1, 2, or 3?
3.
3?
Yeah.
Okay. So question number 3 is what is chi? And this is a multiple choice question. So let me read
I know
the
it's
answers.
prana.
Let me read the answers. Chi. So what is chi? And A, a chakra. B, life force energy. Or C, Chinese yoga.
Life force energy.
Yes, and you win! Yay! Congratulations. Yes,
Thank
and you
you.
said at first you said prana, which is the same thing as life force energy. That's the Indian.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, you were right. You would have got that answer right if you said that too. But yes, life force energy. Thank you so much. So what you win today is a CBD spray. So you want to tell her about the spray?
Absolutely. So we have an array of products that we've backed that we know are third-party lab tested, and that's very important when you come to choosing your CBD or CBG products. So this particular spray is CBD and CBG infused alkaline water, and you spray it underneath your tongue. And the one that I brought today is for sleep.
Okay.
So if you know anyone or if yourself is suffering from insomnia or just having difficulty relaxing before bed, this is a great product to try. And again, it's an alkaline water. And it is by Sealy by Design, and it's a great company. So I'm so glad that you won this, and we can't wait to get this
thank
to
you so
you.
much.
Of
Yes,
course.
yes. So hold the line and we will get your information and get that over to you.
Sure, yeah.
Okay.
And I really appreciate the topic that you guys are talking about. Like, it's
awesome.
important to relax when we are making, important decisions and all. Being a life coach, I do my own relaxation techniques as well. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's
That is
So I need to be
Awesome.
relaxed when I'm coaching others too.
Exactly. Thank you so much. We'll get that right over to you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, awesome.
That
So
was
yay, we got a
great.
winner.
Yay.
I love it when we get winners.
Me too. That is awesome.
Yes. So now, we talked about THC and CBD, and that you have and we just gave the CBD spray. So why is it that they have? I don't want to use the word. Well, actually, we're gonna hold that because this is
Okay.
gonna be a deeper conversation.
I love it.
So we're gonna hold that thought.
Okay.
But in the meantime, I want you to join Unity Atlanta Church in partnership with international artist Sonia Ozio in bringing global mandala to Georgia. And you can find out more about that at unitynorth.org. And also remember, go to monicabay.com to schedule a free consultation, and we can get you whatever you need. All right. So thank you so much. This is Mystic Monday with Monica Bay, and we will be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Cheryl Andrea, and I'd like to welcome you to my show, The Soulful Family, addressing modern-day family dynamics from unique perspectives. We cultivate self-aware parents, discuss unconventional ways to raise conscious children, and create healthy family dynamics. I've had many spiritual experiences that have developed my intuition, and as a result, I've been supporting people awaken and return to their true selves through my techniques for more than 25 years. But my proudest moment? Raising my two sons, Hayden and Gabriel, into happy, healthy, and successful contributing members of society. And that is what has inspired me to create my show. A shift from power by force to a state of authentic power. And as we all shift from the old paradigm and embrace our true selves, our experiences of the physical world we live in will change. You can catch my show on Mondays at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on WDJY 99.1 FM and on WTTA 101.2 FM. You can also watch me on Facebook Live at United Intentions and listen to my show on iTunes, iHeartRadio, Spreaker, Talk10FM.com, and many other platforms. And don't forget to download the UI Media app at uimediaapp.com, where you can also listen and watch my show anytime from anywhere in the world. However you participate, as a listener, calling in live on air, or becoming a sponsor, let's create healthy, soulful family dynamics together.
Hi, and welcome back to Mystic Mondays. I'm your host, Monica Bay, and I am here with cannabis expert, Tangi Daniel.
Hi.
And we are getting back into the conversation about cannabis and spirituality and the benefits of cannabis towards your spirituality. But so I wanted to really touch upon why you think that the THC has been made illegal versus the CBD.
That's a really great question. And so I think it's all about ignorance at this point, and meaning a lack of knowledge. And
Yes.
so people are not aware of the benefits of the plant, the whole plant. And so again, my teachings on the West Coast, we're really about whole plant medication, whole plant education, meaning leave it alone, let it just grow and give it the most organic environment that you can grow it in, and make sure that it's, because people are using this as medication. This is how the whole entire industry got started. It's like patients utilizing this as medicine. And so what it boils down to is you have people, I actually just found out about this. There's a gene in your body called CHRM3, and unfortunately, Europeans, some of them have a malfunction in their gene, and that causes them to hallucinate on cannabis. And African Americans do not have this gene. Melanated people do not have this gene mutation. And it's very interesting. And so what that means is they experience hallucinations when they consume cannabis, and we don't. And so most of them are the ones that are in charge of regulating the industry now that it's becoming legal. And so they might have had a bad experience, they might have heard of a bad experience, etc. And so they're saying, okay, if this is what's causing me to be high, if this is what's causing that, I don't want my constituents hallucinating on this, so I'm going to make this illegal, when that's actually not true at all. And so it's very unfortunate. The cannabis plant as a whole is something called the entourage effect, meaning they work together. And when when you leave the plant alone and let it do what it does, you get all of these amazing beneficial benefits. Exactly. Whole plant medicine. Exactly. And so a lot of people just want to break it up. They're trying to figure out a way to monetize it. And the best way to do that is break down each cannabinoid and say, okay, we're going to sell CBD only, we're going to sell CBG only, or we're going to sell THC only, when that's literally not how it works. After a while, those cannabinoids will break down and not work by themselves because they need the other brothers and sisters along with it. Basically.
That's interesting. Well, because you want to, obviously, whenever you're trying to do anything natural and you're especially from the earth, you want it exactly as it came out of the earth. And not from a lab.
Not manufactured, not synthetic, not, and that's what's happening now. And you'll start to see more regulations come down. We're the most regulated industry, and we're the fastest growing industry in the world. So it's very interesting to see what's happening. And that's
in just a short period of time, too.
Literally.
Like, I think 10 years ago was not even, you couldn't even.
It was still taboo to have conversations about it. And now we have 47 states that have some form of medical. We have 11 with adult use. And so, and we have multiple countries that have legalized as well. So internationally, it's expanding and growing. And so you'll start to see more freedom, but you'll also see more restrictions as well.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so, yeah, where do you think that things are moving now for the as far as the legality? I'm talking about like nationwide legality.
Well, I think that federal legalization will come down, but it'll just,
That's the word I was looking for. Legalization. Don't
federal
judge me.
legalization will come down. But who will it benefit?
Yeah.
That's the question that we really need to ask ourselves. Is it going to be the patients? Is it going to be another profits over patient situation? And that's probably
That's so true.
what's going to happen. It's super
Yeah.
unfortunate. If you start to see it in your CVS and your Walgreens, which you do, you have CBD products there. But if you really start to see it, then a lot of patients might not be able to afford it, or they might not get the best quality that you would get if a boutique grower had utilized the plant and was able to give you that medicine. So I think you'll start to see more legalization come about, because tax money is tax money. We're a capitalistic society, and a lot of states are utilizing those tax dollars for education and for roads and infrastructure. And so they're seeing a lot of it, and people really want to utilize this plant. They really do, in any form.
Yes. Yes. So how have you? How has the plant helped you spiritually?
I think it's the best thing that has happened to me, honestly. And to think I never would have been part of this industry had I not gone into the military and this bad thing did happen to me, which was, going to Iraq, seeing the things that I saw and coming home different than when I left. And so
Yeah.
I think that I'm a more conscious individual, meaning I'm aware of my surroundings. I'm more aware of energy around me. I really am. I'm aware of my energy more. I eat better. It is taking my whole holistic regimen to a different level because I eat better. I try to sleep better. I try to exercise and maintain myself physically, mentally, and spiritually because of the plant. And it helps you do that. It makes you realign and rethink about it. That's why my shirt says altered and aligned. Like, I am altered by cannabis and I'm aligned in life. And it really...
Is that cannabis plant too
It is.
there? I didn't notice that.
It is. And it makes me feel amazing. It helps me with my friendships. It helps me with my family members. It helps me be more articulate because I can get frustrated easily by people not understanding what I'm trying to say or, things like that. So it's just helped me in so many different ways, especially in business as well.
Oh, yes. Yeah, well, because it's really tapping into your parasympathetic nervous system, right? And allowing that to take the forefront rather than your sympathetic nervous system.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I think that's extremely important. And as I was saying earlier about people, really calming down, take it down several notches and relaxing, being in the moment. And, the cannabis plant allows you to do that, or at least it provides the environment for you to do that internally, right?
Absolutely. And in your brain, the same receptors, your hypothalamus that is regulating your food and when you're hungry, your sleep, sex drive, all of that, your pleasure center of your brain is your hypothalamus. That's the same, cannabis helps with that as well. So that's why you have less stress. And a lot of us are suffering from stress and anxiety and depression.
Yes.
And that's one of the things those are major things that cannabis is able to help you with in any form, but especially if you use CBD. And there's so many ways that you can consume. A lot of people are concerned about cannabis because they think they only have to smoke and they don't want to smoke, or they know that it's
let's get into the
stronger.
different ways that they can take that too, because some people are not very aware. They just think of smoking.
Absolutely. And that's my job, to teach them. I consume in a multitude of ways throughout the day, and starting with a pain salve I put on my back and I put all over my body to help with my chronic pain. And then I might, in the tub, I use THC and CBD bath bombs. So I soak in those and I'm able to relax my muscles. And then if you were able to use a tincture, you put that underneath your tongue, it goes into your bloodstream, and then you're able to relax and you're able to understand that things can go in order. You don't have to, and a lot of us have a million thoughts.
Yes.
All the time. And like you can't pull
Yeah.
one thought. And so it helps you understand, like, okay, I need to focus on this and then this and then this, and prioritizes your life. That's what I love about it. So between tinctures, there's pain patches. So you can, it's like a nicotine patch, but you can put it on your back, and those help me through my flights.
Oh, interesting. I didn't know about those.
Absolutely. So internationally, or when I'm going to the West Coast, those help me with those situations. So there's a million ways to consume cannabis now.
Interesting. And I know there are a lot of people out there dealing with chronic pain, because that is just something that is extremely prevalent. And obviously the anxiety and depression as well. So you may want to look into, if you have any of those ailments that Tangi described. If you have any of those ailments at all, you may want to look into the possibility of using CBD or another type of cannabis product that can, help you with those things.
Absolutely. And I definitely encourage it. I
Yeah.
promise you. I promise you. And
Yeah.
free yourself. Give yourself permission because it's federally legal. December 20th, President Trump signed the Farm Bill, the 2018 Farm Bill.
Okay.
And what that did was legalize hemp and removed it from Schedule 1. So now it's Schedule 5. It's in the same category as aspirin. And so,
Oh, interesting.
and what that did, and hemp has CBD in it. It has a lower form of CBD. And so now that allowed interstate commerce, that allowed crop insurance for our farmers, that allowed Native Americans and those on tribal sacred territories to be able to grow. So it did a lot of things. But most importantly, it allowed us to consume cannabis. It removed it from under the marijuana umbrella.
Yeah.
And so now we're able
Interesting.
to, that's why you're seeing CBD stores pop up everywhere.
Oh, okay. So when was this passed?
December 20th, 2018.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yes. And I have seen a lot more since then.
Exactly.
Interesting.
Yes.
Interesting. So yeah, and I like that you're, able to debunk a lot of the myths, because a lot of people are afraid to even try it because they think they're going to be doing something illegal. And so, if it is legal in your state, then have at it. But if it's not legal in your state, CBD is legal nationally, right?
It is. It's CBD, but you have to make sure that you get a third-party lab-tested CBD. Please don't go to the gas station. Just please don't. Please do not do that. That is not the best medicine to use. I don't even think it's medicine at all. I would not call it that. Please do not go to a source that you're not familiar with. It needs to be third-party lab-tested. There needs to be a QR code on it or some way for you to be able to know what's actually in the bottle.
Okay.
And we tell our clients, if you have to worry about this for a urinalysis, if you have to take a urinalysis, anything for a job or your livelihood, we say don't take it at all. Use a topical or use something that doesn't cross into your bloodstream, and something that would be a tincture or even the pain patch that could cross into your bloodstream. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Interesting. Thank
Yes,
you.
Of course. Of course.
So what is, you said another acronym. There was CBD and then CBG?
CBG
Yeah, so
is
can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so that's the next big major cannabinoid that's coming on the market right now. Again, it's been great for bone growth. It's been great for elderly. It's been great for neurotransmissions as well, helping you with brain stimulation. So it's been just, we've been noticing a lot about CBG lately, and it's as expensive as CBD was about 2 years ago to buy it by itself as an isolate. Isolate meaning we've isolated the cannabinoids. I told you earlier there were 200 of them. If you isolate just the one cannabinoid, then that's what you get, a standalone. And so you don't have that THC. You don't have to worry about the urinalysis because that cannabinoid is the only one present. And so CBG is really, really going to be popular this year and going forward because people are going to understand. But again, you have CBC and you have THCA and there's so many, and I could just go on and on and on. And they're just amazing. And CBN is a degradation of THC, and that's been great for sleep and helping with insomnia specifically. So there's so much information that we have to learn. And there are studies. Do not let people tell you, oh, we need more research. We need to know more. There are absolutely studies done out there all over the world. And we have studies from the Schaefer Report to right here in the United States as well. Americans for Safe Access does studies. So please do more research.
Yes. And it looks like we have a call. Caller, you're on.
Hello. Hi there.
Hi. How are you?
Good. It's Melissa.
Hi, Melissa. And you're calling to ask a question?
I do have a question for Tangi.
Sure.
Okay, so, hey, Tangi, I am a former Jehovah's Witness also. And you mentioned that hallucinations aren't something that persons of color will experience on cannabis. And so this is just another question for me, and kind of for the record. You're doing a couple things here that are totally against the books, which is smoking cannabis and speaking to a psychic medium. And between those two, surely as witnesses are taught, there may be some interference with the demons. It opens up your mind, what we're taught. Cannabis can open up your mind to the demons or, bad spirits or some type of negative spiritual attacks and things like that. Can you speak on that at all in your experience so far?
Absolutely. That's a great question. So, first of all, I just want to make it clear that I'm non-denominational. I do not believe in organized religion at all. And I believe that's a control mechanism, honestly. As I look back at it, I'm an adult now. That's a way of controlling you. That's a way of you. And once you do free yourself and once you do expand your mind, you understand that you can't have a lot of people walking around being in tune with themselves. That's not something that you want in a capitalistic society. That's not something that you want, everyone to do, because then they'll start to question everything. Yeah. They'll question, why are we at war? Why are we believing in why do we have to meet this? And why do I have to pay you to do this? And what is this building fund? And what is it? You start to ask more questions, and people don't want questions to be asked. And so I honestly believe that you need to free yourself and start to explore whatever your spiritual beliefs take you, wherever that takes you, you need to go on that journey. And it is a journey. It's a self journey. And I had to do that over the years. And half the things that they taught us, you can go within and find within yourself. Honestly, you can. You don't have to go and meet somewhere and have a third party in between you and your spiritual belief. That's not how it works. And so I had to free myself. And once I did, life has been better. So I am no longer Jehovah's Witness. I'm no longer affiliated with any organized religion at all.
Thank you.
Of course.
Right. Thank you so much for that question. Okay, so if you can just tell everyone how they can reach you and find out everything you have going on.
Absolutely. So if you guys are interested in business development, real estate, consulting, you can go to www.jane.green, and Jane is JAYN.GREEN. I'm also _Jane Green on all of social media. So thank you so much for having me, Monica.
Thank you so much. This has been great. And we will be back right after this. Thank you for watching Mystic Mondays with Monica Bay.
This is Kurt Arsenault of Arsenault Advisory Group. Most of us never think we'll get divorced. Unfortunately, half of marriages will end in divorce. Children are always the first priority, but getting your finances in order will need to be addressed. The first step is to get an assessment of where you are financially. Will you keep your home? Do one or both of you have a 401k or pension? Who will pay for the kids' college education? Will you split your debt liabilities? These are just a few things to consider when thinking about divorce. Visit arsenaultadvisory.com and download our free ebook titled 6 Things to Do Before You Get Divorced. Don't wait. Visit arsenaultadvisory.com today.
Hi, welcome back to Mystic Mondays. I'm Monica Bay, your host, and I want to first we're going to get into the next segment, which is Spirit Shoutout.
Spirit Shoutout.
So today's Spirit Shoutout. So every episode we go through I shout out a particular spirit or deity that people can work with for different things. And so today's Spirit Shoutout is to Arula. Arula is a West African god of knowledge and divination. And divination, for some of you who don't know, because it's kind of a obscure word for some people. So divination is really acquiring knowledge through psychic means. It's really tapping into your universal power and divining that information. That's what divination is. So Arula is the West African god of divination and knowledge. And he is an Orisha, which is a type of deity in the Yoruba religion. And in the Yoruba religion, they correspond a lot of their deities with colors, numbers, offerings, things like that. So for anyone who's interested in working with Arula, and he's very, very powerful, by the way, because I have worked with him several times as well. Anyone who's interested in doing that, his colors are yellow and green. So you can wear yellow or green jewelry or wear, yellow or green clothes to honor him, to kind of imbue that power. And also offerings that are good to give him if you were doing any kind of ritual or anything like that are coconut and wine. And also in the Yoruba tradition for Arula, what they do is they have a wooden bowl that is called Polvera de Arula. which is that keeps the spirit with you at all times. So you can have that bowl on an altar or something like that, and really start to receive more clarity. Again, we're talking about clarity today, and calm, and power and knowledge. So this is a great God for that. Again, the spirit shout out today is Arula. Boom. So now that we've gone through that, I want to start talking a little bit about mindfulness, because we talked earlier. We had Tanji, who was a wonderful guest, shared some really great knowledge with us around the cannabis plant, and it really goes with the theme today regarding being able to quiet yourself, quiet your emotions, being able to really tap into who you truly are, and you can only do that when things are quiet. And like actually Tanji said earlier, you can't have clarity in chaos. And so it's really calming that chaos and being able to do that. One way of doing that is through mindfulness. Now, mindfulness is kind of a buzzword that a lot of people use. And some people, I think a lot of people still don't really understand what mindfulness is when they hear the term. And so mindfulness is really about being in the now, the here and the now, and not focused on the past or the future. Because if you're in the now, you can't be thinking about the past or the future. Your brain can actually only focus on one thing at a time. So those of you who like to multitask, it doesn't work. That's why you're only half focused on something, but you can only really truly focus on one thing at a time. So when you are focused in the now and in the present moment, there's only peace in the present moment. Unless you're getting eaten by a tiger, which is rare. It's not going to happen. So there is only peace in the now. Because when you have fear, when you have anxiety, when you have stress, usually your mind is in the future. You're projecting into the future of what you think is about to happen, what you think a probability of something happen, what you're afraid of happening. And so when you're in that state, you're completely in the future. You're not in the now. And then also when you have regret or anger or negative emotions like that, oftentimes you're in the past. You're thinking, this person did that to me. This happened. I should have responded that way. Whatever those things are. And a lot of people do that. You have situations that happen and you may not have done exactly what you wanted to do, and then you replay that over and over again, and you may even be dreaming about it the next day because you're focused in the past. And that situation is gone, it's done, it's the past, it's no longer the present moment. And so if you stay in the present moment, there's only peace in that moment. And that peace allows you to be calm. It allows you to be able to control your emotions. It gives you more control over your emotions, over your thoughts, and allows you to see the here and now of what's the reality of what's really happening in your reality. Because a lot of times when we're in the past or the future, that's when we're stuck in our negative emotions. And being in the here and now allows you to say, okay, is there anything going on right this moment that is wrong, that is horrible? Am I in any danger right this moment? And 99% of the time, the answer is going to be no. So that's a question that I tell a lot of people when you are stuck in your emotions, when you are, stuck in your thoughts, to bring yourself back to now. And sometimes I'll even tell people to literally to jolt yourself out of those moments. Sometimes you have to kind of do something drastic. So yelling the word now out loud will bring you into that present moment. And focus on something, stare at something right in front of you and be in the now. And then ask yourself, is there anything wrong in this moment? Is there anything happening in this moment that puts me in danger? Is there anything actually happening in this moment? And usually the answer is no, everything's fine in this moment. And if you stay in this moment, then you can remain in peace and be calm and then receive that clarity. So the reason why mindfulness, a lot of people, when you think of mindfulness, you also think of, meditation. And the reason why is because meditation allows you to be in the here and now. So that's part of one of the techniques of mindfulness. But really the goal of mindfulness is to be in the present state, in the now all the time. And so throughout the day, it's good to just do checks on yourself. Am I in the now? Is this, is everything okay right now? And am I in the present moment? And if I'm not, bring yourself to that present moment. And it's okay, obviously, to think about the future because you need to plan, you have goals, things like that. That's perfectly fine. But it's one thing to have goals. It's another thing to worry about the future. Set your goals, but be in the present now to take actions to reach those goals. You shouldn't be focused in the future your entire life, because then you're never living in the now. You're never enjoying the moment. And the moment is important. The present moment is extremely important because that is your life. That is how you're living. And I always tell people life should be lived, not endured. And a lot of times people are enduring life. You're in a state of surviving instead of being in a state of thriving. And it's important that you use mindfulness to be able to really, really turn your life around. I mean, you can just practicing mindfulness can literally change your life. It can change your perspective on life. And it also allows you to make better decisions, as I was saying earlier, with having that clarity, because then you can tap into that spiritual essence, to your higher self, to your soul, to your higher power. You can literally tap into that when you're in the present moment and receive that clarity. And you'll always know what to do if you're fully tapped in to who you are and what you're here for. Because again, your soul knows why it's here. Your soul knows why. Your soul knows everything that you want to know, like I said. And so if you just tap into that and really, really see what those answers are, then you're always rightly guided and there's nothing to ever worry about. Because also when people are afraid, so fear is something that, again, is always about the future. And a lot of times that what's underneath that fear is a lack of trust in yourself. Because if you truly trust yourself, think about it. If I trust myself and I trust my that I know how to handle any situation, I know how to get out of any situation, I'll be okay. If I trust myself, then why am I worried about what this person thinks about me? Why am I worried about, if this deal falls through tomorrow or next week or next year? Why am I worried about that? If I trust myself, then I know, okay, things are going to happen in life. But at the end of the day, I trust myself to be rightly guided, to know the right decisions to make, and to, at the end of the day, be okay. Because in the present moment, I'm always okay. And so that's something that is extremely important for everyone to know and listen to. And I want to give a couple of tips also on how to raise your spiritual energy, because again, being in the here and now is important. So in order to raise your spiritual energy, you need to, your spiritual energy is your chi. So earlier we talked about chi. We had someone call in and got the Mystic Challenge correct. And we talked about what is chi. Chi is your life force energy. Chi is the energy that flows through everything and flows through you, because we are a part of everything. And that's the truth. That's the reality. And so, there are three kinds of chi. Okay, there's chi that you get from your parents, which is called the original essence. There's also chi from your food that you eat, because the plants, their life force energy comes into you. Whether that plant is alive or dead when you eat it, it's still, the life force energy doesn't go away. So your chi that comprises in your body is a mixture of chi that you got from your parents, that's your original essence, food that you eat, and the quality of the air that you breathe. So that's where you get your chi. So the potency of your spiritual energy is in direct relation to the quality of your actual chi in your body. So the best way to really raise your energy and your chi is to increase the quality of it. Eat the best foods that you can, eat as healthy as possible. You can't do anything about the chi that your parents gave you, but what you can do is make sure that you maintain your energy proper and you stay really, really clear. And so that you can receive, the guidance and your spiritual energy will increase. Also, improving the air quality in your home is important. Obviously, you don't really have control over the air outside, but you do have control of the air in your home. So again, those are ways that you can raise your vibration and raise your spiritual energy. And also, Kundalini yoga is important as well. So I'm a Kundalini master. And so also just, again, I'm plugging myself. Go to monicabay.com. And if you're interested in a Kundalini awakening, I do those as well. And we can, definitely talk about that. But I want everyone to remember in the here and now that your spiritual power and potential is limitless. You've been watching Mystic Mondays. I'm Monica Bay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for watching Mystic Mondays with me, Monica Bay, also known as the Healer in Heels on United Intentions Media Network. Want to see more of me? Be sure to follow me on all social media at The Real Monica Bay. Join me next time on Mystic Mondays as we continue to elevate and illuminate all things mystic. Until next time. Stay updated on all UI Media shows at www.uimediaapp.com.
The United Intentions Foundation and its associates take no responsibility for the opinions and statements made by the talk show hosts or their guests.